I'm going to call this video the ultimate bargain budget portable battery operated PA. The key word is battery. I've done similar videos similar to this, but I've used a subwoofer, and none of my subwoofers are battery operated. They're all AC, so I usually use some type of external battery source, which is just one more thing to carry. And I found for subwoofer use, you need a pretty good battery, usually minimum 400 watts. I like to use 600 watts. So that's about 12 or 15 pounds. Just one more thing to carry. So what do we have here today? Well, we have two speakers only. The JBL on the far right is called the Partybox 110. And please go back and see some of my previous videos. I have done quite a few videos on the 110. It's been out for a while, still going strong. So I'm using that on the floor, as you see, because it is pole mountable, but I'm using it on the floor because I'm using it as a quasi subwoofer. And subwoofers get the best bass response using the floor as another surface to reflect the bass, or a corner, but here I'm outside, so I'm definitely going to put it on a floor instead of up on a pole. So the JBL 110, again, from my past videos, I've mentioned this quite a few times. It's a wonderful speaker, but doesn't get very loud. That's the downside. It has a great full range sound, nice high end, really good bass, and good mid-range, good app. But when they say party box, I like to think maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 people the most. You're not gonna feel, especially outdoors like I'm demonstrating here. So it maxes out, I would say, about maybe 100 dB if you're really pushing it and you have a track that's well recorded. So that's kind of light for party use. So that's the downside of the JBL 110. But I'll say it again, it does really sound nice. So how do I solve that problem? Well, I'm matching it up on the left with a PA speaker. And it's a very new speaker. It's just been out just at the end of 2023, and it's called the Alto Busker. It is the smallest PA speaker I know of and I own. It used to be the Bose S1 Pro at 15 pounds, but this Alto Busker is now even lighter and smaller at 12 pounds, which is kind of amazing. And to top it off, it's louder than the Bose S1 Pro, unless you go up to the S1 Pro Plus, which is quite a bit more money, but I don't want to talk about that in this particular video. So the Alto Busker can go up to over 100 dB. The spec is 106 dB, but you don't usually get the spec, especially outside, at any kind of distance. So let's say, I don't know, 102, 101 maybe. That's considerably louder than the JBL Partybox, which is under, let's say, 99 dB. So you're getting a nice volume boost using the Alto. Also, some people will say, well, why don't I just match it up with another Partybox 110? Well, that will give you a little more volume, but it won't give you the volume of the Alto. And the Alto adds something that the Partybox doesn't have, and that is it has a nicer high end, cleaner high end. Does take a little EQing. I'll be glad to share my EQ settings with you. And that's it. Pretty easy setup. Can't be any easier. No external battery, no AC out here. This is all battery. Alto's battery operated. JBL Partybox 110 is battery operated. And so I got a speaker stand. That's an inexpensive stand, maybe $40 or $50. And then it's a one cable setup. I'll share that with you a little later into the video. So talking about weight, some people say, well, how about the Partybox 310? Well, that is louder, even more bass, but it's getting heavy. It's getting too heavy for my portable use. This 110 is heavy enough. It's 23 pounds, but it carries in the hand. It feels heavier, to tell you the truth. It's kind of bulky and big, especially when you compare it to that little 12-pound Alto. So that's about as big as I want to get. But when you match these two up, the Partybox 110 really adds some nice low bass. Is it a subwoofer? No, it's not going to match a Bose Sub1, which is 480 watts. No, and that's a $900 subwoofer. It's not going to do that. And of course, that's an AC only subwoofer. So this is trying to get to the ultimate portable full range sound, but of course it's not quite there. But I would say this is about as close as you're going to get. And as far as price range, which I'll talk about in a little while, this is about the least expensive mix and match speakers that I've done. If you go back again to my videos, I call it mixing and matching. I have a bunch of speakers and I play around with them and see which ones play well together. And these two definitely complement each other. The 110, once again, gives you the low bass that's missing. By the way, the Alto by itself is a nice loudspeaker, very clean, but it has, I like to tell people, zero bass. It's really lacking. But it's very clean, so if you're just doing announcements or ceremonies, it's perfect. But if you're trying to listen to some tunes, it's really lacking in the low end department. So it needs some kind of subwoofer. I've matched it up with subwoofers in other videos, but here I'm trying for all battery power. One of my requirements for this setup is the auxiliary speaker. I'm going to call the Alto the auxiliary speaker. Again, I'll show you the setup. It's I'm using the JBL as my Bluetooth sending speaker, and then from the out of the JBL, I'm running. You can run another subwoofer, or in this case, an auxiliary speaker. So in my usage, I'm requiring a speaker that has an app, and the reason I'm doing that is to blend it properly. The app makes it so easily, or you can go with a mixer, but that defeats the purpose of a portable system. Mixers need AC, right? So without a mixer, I'm requiring the auxiliary speaker to have an app, and from the app, I could raise and lower the gain very quickly. This particular speaker does not have a mute function on the app, which I'm missing, but at this price range, you can't have everything. You just use the slider and you can bring it up. If you need some more high end and more volume, or you can bring it down to lower it really quickly. So that's, again, I've done a similar video with the JBL 110 with the original Bose S1 Pro, and it sounds great. It's a more expensive speaker than the Alto, but it doesn't have the app. So to me, this is, like I mentioned, this is louder than the Bose S1 Pro. So this would be a setup that I would take over that. Another speaker that I have matched up with the JBL 110, another video, was with the Mackie Thump Go. That does have an app, a little heavier. That was a good combination. Similar price range, but larger speaker. And if someone asked me, what's the ultimate speaker that you might set up with the JBL 110, and I would have to say the Everse 8. Very much louder than the Partybox 110, so you're kind of wasting, because it's an expensive speaker, it's $750. But it's definitely, it's battery powered, it has the app. That would be my ultimate setup as far as the JBL 110. So here's the Alto app, and in this case, I'm not using Bluetooth. Like I mentioned, the JBL 110 is my Bluetooth sending speaker. So I'm plugging into channel 1, and I'm using that main volume slider to blend the gain up and down, loud and softer, with blending with the JBL 110. As I mentioned, I wish it had a mute switch that some apps have. Maybe in the future, Alto can do a firmware update. I'm not sure about that, but you know, the slider is kind of glitchy also. It's not the best app, what can I tell you? But it is important to have the app. Like I said, I wouldn't use other speakers, even though they're more expensive, without an app. Here's the EQ I mentioned. Some apps don't have a mid EQ. I know Bose didn't for a while. The new S Plus does. But this has your highs, mids, and lows. And so I'm raising the mids as much as possible. I'm raising the highs, raising the lows a little bit. So like I said, even with this EQ, the bass is still lacking. As far as setup, having the speaker, the auxiliary speaker separated 10 to 15 feet apart is your best way. It gives you that quasi stereo effect. It's not real stereo because both speakers are playing in mono, but your ear is fooled thinking sound from left and right is stereo, so that's my preferred method. But this is a nice look. Some people like this It kind of looks like a small column array system. As far as setup, as I said, it's super simple, super fast, one cable. So I'm coming from my JBL 110 from the 1/8 inch out, and I'm using an adapter into a 1/4 inch guitar cable or a TS cable. It's very important to use TS. If you use TRS, it's not going to work. I tried that, and it was you don't get full range signal, you get a mono signal. So you're going from this out of the JBL into the Alto. Let me show you where that is. So the other side of the cable, again, 1/4 inch TS guitar cable into channel 1. That's it. Everything else is done through the app as far as EQing and volume. I am using a 15-foot cable. Gives me the option of spraying those speakers out in certain situations. You can get, I believe, the cable is available 1/8 inch into 1/4 inch TS, but it's a shorter run. I've never seen it more than 10 feet. So I like the extra 5 feet at least, and so I'm using that adapter cable. So here's the cable I'm using, TS to TS, 1/4 inch, and you know it's TS because it has the 1 slash mark on the tip. TRS will have 2 slash marks. And then I'm using the 1/4 inch into 1/8 adapter, which you can get at Radio Shack for, I don't know, $2. The cable is about $20 on Amazon. I can give you the link. This is a good cable, GLS audio. And that's it. One cable setup. Couldn't be any simpler. This video is getting long, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to come back to part 2 for the sound demo. Sorry if you've been waiting for that. Some people say sound demos on YouTube are a waste of time anyhow. Other people get really angry if you don't provide one. Can't please everybody. Anyway, that'll have to be at part 2. Okay, let's wrap this up. Of course, maybe the number one deciding factor for many people is price. So let's talk about that. Right now, as we speak, the Alto Busker is $350. It came out at $400, which I paid for. It's down to $350. You got your JBL 110, and that has gone down quite a bit. It's been out for a number of years, actually. It's due for a refresh, but it's down. It used to be $400. It's down to $300 on Amazon that I saw today. Other sites, $350, but I actually saw it at $300 on Amazon. Like I mentioned, the speaker stand, nothing special. Lightweight, $50, $40 to $50. One cable, $20. One adapter, $2. So the whole system totaled out $720, and that is it's in the range of the Everse 8, which is $750. But this has the advantages of 2 speakers, like I mentioned, quasi stereo, left and right. You can spread them out. The Everse 8 would be a louder system than this, but this is it's a great alternative. As far as bass, this might be better bass than the Everse. I would say yes. It'll be close. Everse 8 has nice bass, but the JBL 110, like I said, it's getting pretty close to a small subwoofer performance. So this is a great setup, and it's modular. You can take just the busker for busking. This would be a great setup. I mention this a lot because I think about my old college days. Something like this would be for $700, a little over $700. You have a full range sound. You know, you don't have to buy hi-fi speakers with 2 left and right speakers with a receiver and cable with wires all over the place. This is all battery operated. You can take this to the beach with you, take it to the park. This is, what can I say? Of all the setups I've had, I would say this is probably the least expensive, full range, there's the key word, full range, bass, from the low bass to the super clean high end at good volume, 160 dB of the Alto. This is probably my best mix and match budget, all battery powered setup. Hope you enjoyed. This is Bill, and I encourage you to go back if you're interested in the Alto or the Partybox. I have a whole bunch of past videos about them. Okay, this is Bill. Later.